Let me say this. I think it was too early. I do. I think it was too early. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for RuPaul's Drag Race. I can't talk. RuPaul's Drag Race, season 15, episode 4. And the fourth episode for us to be doing Snatch Game, I think is too early. I think it's too early. I don't think the girls are comfortable enough to actually pull it off. It's one of the biggest, most waited for challenges of the series. And I really don't think that the girls have actually settled in enough yet to actually do it and do it effectively the way it should be done. Now, there's this other part to it. We're 15 seasons in. There's so many celebrities that have already been done. I think it's like a crapshoot. The more there is, the more we can find some footage of something that may be good. But at the same time, I don't think the girls are settled in enough to really give their best performances in it. But, you know, who am I? Okay, so there's so many of them that Rue split them into two groups. Okay, so two groups. First group, we got Mistress as Rosie O'Donnell, which ended up segueing into her being Abby Lee Miller. I think it was just something that happened. It wasn't on purpose. Her look, she looked like Abby Lee Miller. She really did. She looked like Abby Lee Miller. She was definitely on. Of the group, I thought she was the best in the group. The only thing is the look. The look, she looked more like Abby Lee Miller. Her regular hair looks more like Rosie O'Donnell. Okay, so that's when it comes to the look. I think that her Rosie, she looked more like Abby Lee. And hell, Abby Lee and Rosie they act the same. They act the same. They're both obnoxious. So they act the same. But in either one of the roles, I think she did the best in her group. As far as the look, next was Marsha as Tim Gunn. As for the look, overall for the full season, best look of all. This is that thing where we're doing, and I think this is fair. I do. I think this is fair. As drag is just that. We have drag kings just like we have drag queens. This is a drag queen competition, but it's so veered off from an actual drag queen pageant, and it's so different that male characters, why not? Why not? I mean, everything is topsy-turvy. RuPaul is his comedy is backwards comedy. RuPaul is B-rated movies and overacting, and that's Ru. Ru doesn't want you to, oh my God, Ru wants you to, oh my goodness, that's Ru. It's so extremely backwards and extremely over the top. That's what he likes. So this whole thing of male characters, fine. I mean, we've gone to the point where I ain't never going to be on board with the male songs for the lip sync. That sucks. That completely sucks. I'm telling you, you're hearing it from me. Every time it happens, I hate it. That sucks. Drag is about female impersonation. So when it comes to lip sync for your life, lip sync in a male song, it just goes against everything that it is we're doing. The whole thing is to embody femininity. But Snatch Game is about character work. It is literally about character work. Yes, I would like you to stick with something feminine, but it doesn't have to be. It's character work, and I just look at it as that. But that lip sync for your life, that is a female performance. So up there with some old male song, that is just ridiculous to me. But anyway, y'all tell me how y'all feel about it in the comments. But Tim Gunn, Marsha looked exactly like Tim Gunn. She had Tim Gunn's mannerisms down. All that stuff that Tim says, all those words, Tim Gunn will snatch a word out of the air that you haven't heard in 50 years, and you may not even know what it means. Child, and then he has that everything is so dry, and he's definitely a specific personality. Oh my goodness, I'm verklempt. Make it work. Tim Gunn is hilarious. I love him. I do. I love Tim Gunn. I've always loved Tim Gunn. I love Project Runway. That was my thing. The two shows that I would actually audition for and do would be RuPaul's Drag Race and Project Runway. And that's just the way I love both shows and have since their inception. Anyway, but I thought of all the girls, that Tim Gunn impersonation was spot on. Spot on. Amanda Lepore was being done by Lux. Eh. Malaysia did Saucy Santana. Listen, this was a big moment for Saucy. This was a bigger moment for Saucy than it was for Malaysia. But for Saucy Santana to be a brand new LGBTQIA artist and just a new artist, period, and someone is on television impersonating you, just like when Cornbread did Maddie. Maddie's been around, she's an LGBTQIA star, but she's been around. But trust me when I tell you, it was a big deal. It was a big moment for her being impersonated on the show. It said, "Book girl, the people see you. The people see you." And Miss Saucy, baby, we see you, honey. We see you. Who else got an ass like this? We see you, sis. We see you. And it was a big moment. It was a big moment for Saucy more so than Malaysia. Malaysia had Saucy's look down and the mannerisms down. But Saucy you needed more speaking lines. You needed to jump in more and say some things. Saucy's funny, but it's like a naturally funny. You didn't do enough to really bring Saucy all the way to life, but baby, you had that look on. And that's all right, because we see you, Saucy. So it was a bigger moment for me. I'm going to still say as far as what it did for Malaysia. But for Saucy Santana, it was a moment. It was a big moment. I was very proud. Very proud and very happy for her. Moving on. Then we got Anitra, which I became Team Anitra last week. Anitra did Georgina Ramsey, which is a female. I love when they do this because that's creativity. When you turn Gordon Ramsay is the character, but you turn it into a female version of, that's character work. That's character work. That's creativity. So I'm always here for that. And when you do it and you can do it well, that was fun. And it is fun to do that. I've actually done like the whole Uncle Fester thing, and I switched it and did Auntie Fester and turned it into a female version of. That was a bunch of fun. It would have been very easy for me to do Uncle Fester as a character. I did it for Halloween. You know what I mean? I'm bald. I'm of a certain age. Okay, I can put the light bulb in my mouth. Boom, there we go. We got Uncle Fester. But I switched it up and did a whole female version of it, and it was absolutely a blast. I had a good time doing it. I did. I really did have fun with that. It was that silliness, and it was just that. It was silliness. But yeah. So I loved this whole Georgina Ramsey thing. I thought it was hilarious. I did. I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, let's move on to S Titties did this whole Virgin Mary. I hated it. I hated it. I thought it was rude, to say the least. It was rude. It was completely not politically correct. I mean, I'm all for not being politically correct. Okay, I don't really press that being politically correct, but there's some things that we need to leave alone, especially in these spaces when we get to talk about drag and the church, and it's a very slippery slope and a very thin line. So I wasn't here for it. I didn't really like it. And it's probably the fact that S Titties, I'm not a big fan either. So that probably didn't help. But I gave her a big for that. And she just wasn't good. It wasn't good. It was bordering on vulgar for me. So, but that's just my opinion. You all tell me what you all think down in the comments. Round two, the group two, we had Jax, which I'm not a big Jax fan, but her Mona Lisa was funny to me. That whole in the Mona Lisa poster, the very beginning, she snagged me right in the beginning when she was sitting there. Mona Lisa doesn't have any child. I don't know where he says this woman is so beautiful. That woman ain't never been beautiful, but it's that picture's terrible. But anyway, when Jax was doing something and said, just cutting up, that was funny to me. Now that wasn't politically correct because people love that little ugly painting. But that wasn't PC, but it was funny to me. That was funny. And I was like, okay, Jax, I got it. And the thing is with Jax, y'all know how I feel about Jax. It worked because Mona Lisa looked like a man anyway. So that worked. Next, we had Sugar playing Trisha Paytas. Now, I love when our YouTube and our internet folk get recognized. It's a big moment for them too. But the Trisha Paytas, I didn't like it. It was for me. I was like, Sugar, that ain't working, darling. Next, we had Amethyst, who did Tan Ma. It was cool. But guess what? Amethyst, baby, I wish you'd just did Big Ange. Tan Ma was cool, but I wish that Amethyst would have done Big Ange. I really do. I really do. Anyway, and also, I'm going to tell you all, I'm Team Amethyst. Do you understand? I am Team Amethyst because I think that Amethyst is, when I say people needed time to get into their judge, I think Amethyst is that person. I think Amethyst has something underneath there that she is going to rock our world. Amethyst, I don't think she's going home anytime soon. She's hitting these bumps in the road now, but I think when she gets it together and that hoe get comfortable, it's going to be a problem. I see something in Amethyst, so I'm telling you all now. Y'all remember I said this in episode 4. I am here. I'm rooting for Amethyst. I think she got something. I really do. I think she has something that she just got to get comfortable. And once she get in her groove, I think it's going to be on and popping. I really do. Remember I said that. Moving on. Spice did Miley Cyrus. Now, y'all know I love Spice, but girl, you didn't do Miley any justice. You didn't, baby. You didn't. Then next we have Aura did Bretman Rock. Aura, you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball, and here's the thing. Now you got me nervous, Aura. Girl, don't let me find out you're a two-trick pony. Don't let me find out that you're a two-trick pony. I got my good eye on you. I do. I got my good eye on you. You dropped the ball here. Sasha did Jan Crouch, and it was good. It was good. She walked that non-PC line very tightly and like a pro, like what she is. And so I was here for that with Miss Sasha. I liked it. But the best in the group, and the best overall for me was definitely Lucy. Lucy LaDuca. Lucy LaDuca did the shit out of Joan Rivers. She did Joan Rivers down. I love Joan Rivers too. I always love Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was just so out of order. She was so out of order. Oh my God. I've loved Joan Rivers since I was a little boy. She would just be so sharp. That was the first thing. Joan was always clean, 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 clean. She wore fur. She wore diamonds. Y'all know I love fur and I love diamonds more than everything in the world. I love fur and I love diamonds. And that's what when Joan showed up clean as the board of health. Okay. Joan Rivers always looked like she was a character from Dynasty. And she had a smart ass mouth, and she would say some of the most outlandish things that you ain't had no business saying. I have loved Joan Rivers since I was a little boy. So I was here for it, and I thought that she was the best of the girls overall. But yeah, definitely in round two, she was the highlight. Mistress was the round one highlight. Moving on. The runway was Beautiful Nightmare. So I said, okay, underwhelming. Underwhelming. And again, it's this thing of we've been around so long. We done seen so much. I've seen so much drag that I tried to not get in that mode because I've seen so much drag that it's like, girl, we've seen that before. Girl, we've seen that before. Okay, try that again, girl. Oh no, so and so did that. There's over 100 girls who have actually graced the stage on Drag Race at this point. So it's like, yeah, girl, we've seen that, and we're always comparing things to things that we've seen. So it was kind of that thing. Now I will say this, Miss Sasha slayed for me. She was basically like a Tim Burton living witch's broom. Flawless. Flawless. And it was given body because that's what she does. But the way the costume was, and it had the long fingers, and her face was done, and she had the witch's hat, but the bottom of it was the mermaid silhouette, but it looked like a broom, like the bottom of a broom. And it just, I wrote in my notes, she was a living witch's broom. I loved it. I did. I absolutely loved it. Lucy LaDuca, I like Lucy's. Lucy, as much as I hate the movie, it is like my all-time hated horror movie is Friday the 13th. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I've always hated it. I hate the whole franchise. I really do. Don't like it. It just rubs me wrong, and it always has. That means it's actually good. That's the truth of the matter, is that Friday the 13th actually is good because it did exactly what it's supposed to do. It scared the shit out of me. I don't like it. There's not very many things that scare me. I have a thing. I don't know if it started with the movie or what, but I have a thing about the woods. I don't play around in the woods, and I don't like slasher films. I don't. And I love every other part of the horror genre. Other than that, I do not like slasher films, and I can't stand anything in the woods. If it goes to the woods, I become very uneasy, very uneasy. So all in all, we could say that the Friday the 13th movies are good at what they are, but I hate them. I really do hate them. I'm telling you, I hated Friday the 13th so much as a young person. I used to watch Falcon Crest every Friday. Okay. You had Dallas and you had Falcon Crest. Dallas was on at 9 o'clock on Channel 2. Falcon Crest came on at 10 on Channel 11. I would watch Falcon Crest. Baby, one day I was watching Falcon Crest and I was home alone. And I turned that damn television on, and here was a new character, and it was being played by Betsy Palmer. Honey, boy, everybody knows Betsy Palmer is the incomparable Mrs. Voorhees. which is Jason's mother, who is the original killer in the first Friday the 13th movie. Baby, when I tell you, Betsy Palmer played the role so well that she was always Mrs. Voorhees. I don't give a goddamn where I seen her. And baby, I gave her, and I turned that shit off. You understand? I literally stopped watching Falcon Crest. I stopped watching the whole show because of Betsy Palmer. Was too damn young to be watching it any goddamn way, but that was all right. But I literally, this is like early 80s, child. I stopped watching Falcon Crest because Betsy Palmer ended up with a recurring role on the show. And I wouldn't give a damn. For me, she was always Mrs. Voorhees, and I wanted nothing to do with the hoe, and especially not every Friday night. Girl, bye. And it just so happened that the first time her character debut, I was home alone. I said, oh, hell no. Girl, I clicked her so quick. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Pam. You're out of here, girl. I said, no. Clicked her right on off. Anyway, back from my soapbox. Bam, and I'm back. Okay, so Sasha. Lucy LaDuca, hers was a female Jason Voorhees, and she had the mask up here, and then her face was painted, and then it was done in denim, like dirty denim. I thought it was very creative, and as much as I hate that, and I hate that hockey mask, it was good. It was good. I liked it. It wasn't an elaborate costume. It was just creative, the way that it was actually done. It looked a lot like Venom. If you ever seen like Spider-Man movies, the way they have Venom done. Remember when Venom is trying to break out from the body and all of that, and he's trying to break apart and separate? That's what it looked like, but it was the Jason Voorhees piece. Very creative. Very creative. So I liked that. Sugar and Spice for me were the worst. Because I'm already in episode 4. I'm tired of the baby doll thing. I'm tired of the 2 baby dolls thing. It's just corny. Amethyst. This is where I told y'all got to watch out for Amethyst. Amethyst came, and you should have actually probably done this, Amethyst, over at you could have done this for Snatch Game, because that hoe looked dead on Lady Gaga. She basically came as Lady Gaga, and there was a live performance that Gaga did. I think it was the MTV Awards, but she had the white on, and then she had the blood, and the blood was running, and she was doing the whole. It was the whole on stage persona for paparazzi. It was a live version of paparazzi. And she looked exactly like Gaga. She had the blood explode on her white outfit and run down and everything. A very creative, but beautiful nightmare. And it was a stretch. It was a stretch. But the look, your Gaga look, Miss Thing, you could have rocked that right. And she did fine she did fine on Snatch Game, but that you got 3 characters that you could have definitely rocked. You could do Big Ange, you could do Tan Mom, or you could do Gaga, we see. So you showed me a wealth of character work. Character work always makes money. You listening? Keep that in mind, because everybody can't do characters. There's a million beautiful drag queens. There's a million talented drag queens, but all of us can't do character work. You get a girl that can actually do some good character work, you got a bitch that can make some money. Anyway, moving on. Okay, Aura, this is where you got back in the race, because I was ready to throw you away. But Aura had this beautiful black velvet gown. So where the hell is she going? What is she doing? What? It's a beautiful nightmare. You just come out in a black gown, Miss Thing, with her hair snatched back in a chignon, honey. I said, no, that ain't work. It was beautiful. Very glamorous. And then she was overacting something. It was supposed like she was in pain. And then she turned around. I said, oh, it had the whole vertebrae exposed, like something had attacked her and ripped the skin completely off her back. And it was kind of transfixed. But it was so well done. It looked like prosthetics on the gown. It was so well done. So well done. I was like, okay. So that puts you back in the race for me. The gown itself was bad. And it looked so realistic, like somebody or something had just literally ripped the skin off her back. But now you're acting. You were trying to give pain, but still trying to be halfway pretty. You looked weird. You just looked weird. Anyway, moving on. Overall, over all of this, Lucy LaDuca was the winner. So she got $5K. So $5,000. She's the winner. Rue put Sugar and Spice in the bottom. I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to happen this soon. I said, Rue, we on the same page, honey. I'm sick of these two baby dolls. Put them down there. And then they were doing You Better Run by Pat Benatar. And they end up going back and forth. And then they tried to play in Rue's face. I said, really? You whores are out of order. And I said, what is Rue getting ready to do here? I'm going to tell you what I thought she was going to do. I thought she was going to send both of their asses home because this is RuPaul's Drag Race. This is not the Sugar and Spice show. I said, now it's time for you to lip sync for your life. That means battle, honey. Good luck. And don't fuck it up. That means battle. I don't give a damn that it's your sister. Battle whore. That's what it means. And for them two to get up here and start doing this choreographed number with the two, this is not, they told y'all before, this is not RuPaul's Greatest Friends race, honey. This is not RuPaul's Twittermies, honey. This is RuPaul's Drag Race. Battle for your life. Battle your sister, honey. So when they pulled that little stunt, I said, girl, she gonna light y'all up and send y'all both home, honey. But she did what needed to be done because she saw what I saw from the beginning, honey. She saw that Sugar ain't as good as Spice. Spice has a chance to really do something with this competition. Sugar made it to the show. Okay, you gave us what you got. We appreciate it, but it's time to go. And she sent her ass packing. And so now we got Spice. Now it's time to get yourself together. I'm going to give Spice 1 week to fumble without her sister. But then you better pull it together and do what needs to be done and do what you can do because you can do this. You can do this. I'm still Team Spice. So I got 3 girls. I got Anitra, I got Spice, and I got Amethyst. And we're going to see what happens. All right, you all. That's it. That's all I got for this episode. I will see you guys on the next episode. Later.